Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope everybody's having a great day. It is Saturday morning here in Tokyo. Good morning. I had a live last night, and last night I promised I would do another live this morning. So here I am. It's a beautiful day here in Tokyo. It was really cold the last couple of days, but the sun has come out. I don't know if it's cold outside, but it's really sunny and we have blue skies, so I'm pretty happy about that. If you joined me the last couple of live lessons, I did a live lesson on Thursday and Friday, Japan Standard Time. If you joined me during those live lessons, you studied the past tense, and then last night, we studied the past continuous. If you didn't join me on Thursday and Friday, you might have watched it on the replay. That's great. If you didn't watch it, that's fine. You can always go back and watch the replay after this or this weekend or when you have time. Today's lesson, though, is going to be a combination of the two lessons we learned. So we learned the past tense, we learned past continuous. Now what we will do is we are going to use both of them together. We're going to join them together, and this will help us with our storytelling. So if you can see from the title of the lesson, today we are practicing storytelling. In order to effectively tell stories in English, it's very common to use the past tense and the past continuous together. All right, so we use them together. And that's what we will do today. So if you watched Thursday and Friday, past and past continuous, you are at a good point now to combine them both. If you didn't watch, that's fine. We'll learn how to do it in today's lesson. With all of my lessons, I put the lesson onto the screen as I've just done now. You can see I've got the lesson, which is called past continuous and past. So first, what we'll do is we'll look at a bit of the grammar for today's lesson. And after that, we'll start with some exercises. And then we will jump into where you get to make some sentences. All right. Fusa, ohayou gozaimasu. Ohayou gozaimasu. Kyou mo yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Thank you very much, Fusa. How are you today? All right, so let's start looking at the grammar first. And this is kind of a good review for anyone who joined on Thursday and Friday. And if you didn't join Thursday and Friday, this is the grammar that we will be using. And we're going to start by looking first at the past tense. So what's the pattern that we use for the past tense? Now, the only thing you need to be very careful about when you are using the past tense, you have to be careful if the verb is a regular verb or if it's an irregular verb. Now, a regular verb is any verb that we just add ed to the ending. So it's the verb plus ed that makes it into the past tense. Now, an irregular verb, the past tense is going to be completely unique from the present tense. It's not going to have an ed ending. It's going to have a completely different spelling. So if we were to look at two sort of simple examples, let's look at first a regular verb. I could say the verb walk. Walk. Then my past tense, regular past tense for this is walked. I just add the ed. Now, If we look at the verb go, go is an irregular verb, and the past tense is went. The past tense is went. So you notice the past tense is completely different from the regular tense. With regular verb, we just add ed. So please be careful with that. Make sure you are choosing the correct past tense form. XYZ, good morning. How are you today? How are you today? And Kaz, good morning. How are you? How are you this morning? All right, so past tense, you have to be very careful of the regular. Is it a regular verb or is it an irregular verb? And you can basically, for the irregular verbs, you just have to memorize these. Please memorize these. Okay, next, the other thing we will use in today's lesson to tell stories is going to be the past continuous. Now, how do I make the past continuous? The past continuous is going to be the past of the be verb, so was, were, plus the ing, verb ing. All right, so I've got a couple of example sentences here. I was brushing my teeth. I was brushing my teeth. He was walking to school. This does not mean right now. This means in the past. Now, if we look at past and past continuous, what's the difference? Let's look at sort of a timeline. I want you to imagine that this point right here is now, right? That's the present tense. If we're looking at the past tense is going to be just 1 point in the past. It's 1 point. All right, so that's the past tense. But if we're looking at the past continuous, the past continuous is going to be, we start with 1 point in the past, but that action is going to continue. That action is going to continue until another point in the past. Okay, so that's the difference between past and past continuous. Past tense is just 1 point in the past. It's just this 1 point. But past continuous is a continued action in the past. So, how do we use past continuous and past together? So, let's look at this line here. Now, let's imagine this is the past continuous line. Right? This is the past continuous line. Let's draw another line here. So this is the past continuous line. Now, how do we use past tense with this? Past continuous is a continued action. It's moving. It's moving in the past. In that time, the past action is going to interrupt it. Right? So this is going to be 1 point in the past action. All right, so the past action is interrupting the past continuous action. So an easy way to think of this, this is how I explain things at my school. Think of past continuous as a long action. The past continuous, this action is continuing. It's long. And think of just a regular past tense action as a short action. It's just 1 point. All right, so we've got the long action here. It's continuing. And then the short action, which is just 1 point. It's intersecting. So let's look at an example sentence. let's look at the example sentence here. We've got long action and we've got short action, long and short. So my long action says, while I was watching TV. So I was watching TV. That action is long. It's continuing. It's in the past. Maybe last night. Last night, I was watching TV. The action continues. The short action, the phone rang. The phone rang. That is a one-time action. It happened. So I was watching TV, long action, short action, the phone rang. This is the short action. All right, so we put those together and we have the sentence, while I was watching TV, the phone rang. While I was watching TV, the phone rang. Supergirl, good morning. How are you today? Sorry that I missed your couple of lessons. I've been watching it live. That is no problem. That is no problem. But thank you for jumping in and saying hello, by the way. Thank you for saying hello. All right. So past continuous is the long action, and then past tense is the short action. Now, let's look. I've got some keywords here. Keywords. So we have two keywords for past continuous, as and while. And with the past tense, I've got when. Now, this is not like perfect 100% rule, but in English, commonly, if you use the word while, after while, we often use past continuous. So if you notice in the above example, while I was watching TV, while I was watching TV. And usually after the past tense, we will use, or sorry, after when, we use the past tense. Okay, so those are the two words I want you to remember. Why, as is also great, but today we're going to focus on while and when. So if I'm using while, after while, please use the past continuous. Then after when, please use past tense. Now, in one sentence, please choose while or when. Don't use both. Don't use both. Use one of those. You choose. All right, so while plus past continuous, when plus past tense. That is an easy way to make these sentences. Now, last thing we're going to look at for the grammar, and then we're going to start the lesson, is the order. The order. Now, the great thing about using while or when is we can put the word in different positions. So the order will change. For instance, the first one I've got while I was watching TV. So while and past continuous, the phone rang. Or I can switch the order. The phone rang while I was watching TV. So you can put while at the beginning of the sentence, the very beginning, or in the middle. The meaning is the same. It's your choice. Now, the same thing is going to be happening when we use when. Now, if you look at the example sentence, it says, I was walking in the park when I saw my friend. So when is in the middle. Or we can put it at the beginning. When I saw my friend, I was walking in the park. All right, so when and while, you can put it at the beginning of the sentence or in the middle. That is your choice. It's up to you. All right, so a couple of people here. YFS, good morning. Good morning. How are you today? And you, 5 trillion. Good morning. Great to start my Saturday morning with your lessons. Thank you so much, you. Thank you so much. I appreciate those kind words. So let's practice a lesson. Let's practice an exercise here. And we're going to focus on these keywords. These keywords. And now the keywords are when and while. When and while. So I want you to look at the sentence. And we've got the verbs and we've got the word when and while. I'll do number 1 together with you. So number 1, we've got I. We have a blank space. We got a verb which says walk in the park. I've got my keyword here, which is when. All right, my keyword when. Then it blank space begin to rain. So I know that, as I've just said, the key words when. Okay, when you see when, we're going to follow it with the past tense. Okay, when plus that past tense. So after when is past tense. So this means this must be the past tense. So that means this walk must be the past continuous. So my sentence for this would be, I was walking in the park when it began to rain. When it began to rain. So I want you to imagine, right? This is the past. You're walking. All right, you're walking in the park. You're walking in the park. And at this point, it began to rain. So this is the point where it meets. It meets right here. But of course, it's going to continue. And right here is now. All right, so you were walking and then it rained. Okay, so keyword was when here. Now let's look at number 2. Let's look at number 2. Number 2, we can also see a keyword. We see the keyword while. After while, we know we're going to be using the past continuous. All right, so let's put that banner up on the screen. So while plus the past continuous. So we've got watch, and then on the back side, we've got ring. My keyword here is while. So while, if you look at the banner on the screen, while is followed by the past continuous. So watch, we will use the past continuous. Ring will be the past tense. So using or knowing that information, what is your answer? And you can leave any answer that you think is correct. Leave it into the comment section. Now remember, whenever you're making a past continuous, we will use this grammar. Was, were, then verb ing. So this is Kenji. Kenji is a boy's name. Kenji typically is a boy's name. So it's he was. Right? So we've got an answer here from XYZ. Kenji was watching TV. The phone rang. Very good. So while Kenji was watching TV, the phone rang. All right. So the key words really tell you where your verb tenses, verb forms go. Okay. So the key words while and when. All right, let's look now at number 3. All right, we've got the keyword again, while. So we know that when we have a keyword, if it's when, it's going to be followed by the past tense. If it's while, it's going to be followed by the past continuous. So Supergirl, while Kenji was watching TV, the phone rang. Yes. So I'll move back up. While Kenji, and I'll put that answer up here as well. While Kenji, let's move this. While Kenji was watching TV, the phone rang. So here we know the past tense of ring is rang. That's an irregular verb. So it's a verb that you just have to remember. Now, the great thing about some of the irregular verbs, that some of the patterns can follow and can be used with other verbs. So here we've got ring, rang, ring, rang. So if we are thinking about another verb with a similar pattern, it's sing. The spelling is basically the same. So the irregular past tense follows that same pattern. All right, good job. Good job, Supergirl. Okay, so this next one here, number 3, while they, and we've got XYZ was walking and saw. Your irregular verbs, seesaw was perfect. But while they, it's not was XYZ, it will be they were, while they were. All right, so here, while they were walking to the station, they saw an accident. While they were walking to the station, that's the long action. Walking, 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 walking. Oh, accident. I saw an accident. This happened all in the past. All right, very good. Now, number 4. Number 4 is a little bit different. I'm not giving you any blank spaces. I'm not giving you any subjects. I'm not giving you any key words. All I've given you is I've given you the long action and I've given you the short action. The long action is take a shower. The short action is phone rings. Now, you can use the subject. You can use the subject I if you want. And a great thing to do is please use both keywords. Please use when and while to make a sentence. We're walking and saw. That's autocorrection, no problem. Good job, YFS. All right, so we've got take a shower. We've got phone rings. Long action, short action. Please make a sentence. Your subject can be I if you want. It can be he, she, we. So Supergirl is using she. While she was taking a shower, the phone rang. Perfect. YFS, while I was taking a shower, the phone rang. You can use any subject you want. I is easiest, but like I said, you could use you, he, she, we, they. Any subject is fine. In fact, that's good that we have different subjects. All right, what if we use when? What if we use when? How would we answer that? So with when, it's the same thing. Remember, when is followed by the past tense. And then remember, our order can be in the beginning or in the middle. Supergirl, when I was taking a shower, the phone rang. So this is good. Now, as I said at the very beginning, this is not a perfect 100% rule. While plus past continuous, this is very common. While plus past continuous is very, very common. Okay, but some people do put when and past continuous, and that's completely fine. That's completely fine. For today's lesson, I've just separated them, so it's just easier to understand. But, you know, if we look at Supergirl's answer here, when I was taking a shower, the phone rang, that's completely fine. Now, remember, our order can also change. Our order can also change, right? So, you know, if we're looking at, if I'm going to use when in a sentence, and I'm going to change the order of this, you know, I might just say something like this. You know, I was taking a shower when the phone rang. We don't always have to start with the when or while. If you want to, that's fine. So XYZ, you've got when the phone rang, I was taking a shower. I have the same sentence. I've just put when in the middle. I was taking a shower when the phone rang. And this is just personal preference. It's what you like. You know, myself, I like to start sentences with while. And with when, I like to put it in the middle. So it's really up to you. Okay, so now that we've looked at these keywords, let's put it all together. We're moving to the application part, the active part of the lesson, where I'm going to give you basically, we're going to do something similar to number 4. I'll give you a long action and I'll give you a short action. Please choose a keyword and make a sentence joining the two actions. Remember, when and while can be at the beginning or in the middle. All right, and you has a sentence here, her own original sentence. I like it. When I was talking with my daughter, she got angry to me. Almost perfect, almost perfect. In this situation, everything is right. The grammar we're using today, you got perfectly. Right? Now we just have a preposition mistake. So again, you could use while here as well. So just for today's lesson, let's use while I was talking with my daughter. Okay, so that's a long action. She, short action. Let's move the short action. She got angry. Now, two things you can say here, with or at me. So almost perfect. Just the preposition, not to me, but with me or at me. Excellent. Is this a true sentence? I hope she's not angry at you. All right. Let's look now. We're going to go to the application, long action and short action. So here, my application. Here's an example of what we will be doing. We've got long action. We've got short action. We've got boy skiing, break leg. All right, so my sentence is the boy was skiing when he broke his leg. The boy was skiing when he broke his leg. All right, and of course, there can be many answers here. You know, I could have said, while the boy was skiing, he broke his leg. Okay, I could switch it. The boy broke his leg while he was skiing. All right, so there's many answers. Let's look at number one. That's how we'll start. Number one, we've got Ms. Robinson. We've got gardening. This is going to be the long action. And my short action is rain. My short action is rain. Make sure you're using your keywords. Right? Your keywords are going to be when and while. All right, so I'll put those keywords right there. Make sure you use your keywords. And let's make a sentence joining those two actions. So Supergirl says, while Ms. Robinson was gardening, it rained. Sure. Now, if you want to add words, that's also okay. Supergirl, your answer is perfect. It's perfect. You could add a word if you wanted. For instance, maybe my sentence would be a little bit different. Maybe I would add a word. Before I do that, let's look at the next answer. Ms. Robinson was gardening when it rained. Perfect. Perfect. My answer here, if I'm going to change it a little bit, I would say Ms. Robinson was gardening. That's the same. Ms. Robinson was gardening. Keyword when, like everybody is using. And here I'm going to change it. It began to rain. Ms. Robinson was gardening when it began to rain. So I've added a different verb. I've added the verb begin. But again, it still must be the short action. Ms. Robinson was gardening when it began to rain. All right. So if anybody has a different answer, if you've used a different order, different words, different verbs, that could be completely fine. Make sure you leave it in the comment section. Anybody who is watching this on the replay, if you like this lesson so far, if you think it's useful, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. All right. So give that thumbs up to this video. Share the video with anyone you know who's studying English, and make sure you subscribe. All right, let's look at number two. I'll leave number one on the screen. That way, people who are still doing number one, they can see one example answer. I'll put number two as well on the screen. So number two, we've got two girls in this situation. Two girls. We've got swim, which is the long action. And the short action is dolphin and sea. So I've given you a lot of information. So long action is two girls, swim. Short action is dolphin and sea. Now, also, my advice when you're making these sentences, when you're comfortable using one of the keywords, maybe you like to use when. So you're comfortable, when and past tense, when and past tense. If you're comfortable, then next time try using while. Okay, make sure you practice both of these keywords. It's really important that we practice these keywords. Excuse me. Okay, so who has a sentence here? We've got two girls, swim, that's the long action, and dolphin and sea, that is the short action. And again, remember, you can use when or while, beginning or middle. So in my sentence for number 1, I put when in the middle. That's how I like to use when, but you can use it how you want. So for me here, maybe I might use while. I used when already, so let's try using while now. And I like to put while at the beginning. That's just my preference. I like that. You don't have to. So while 2 girls were swimming, they saw a dolphin. While 2 girls were swimming, they saw a dolphin. Now make sure I put 2 girls as my first subject, but I don't want to put 2 girls as my second subject again. So I need to change it to they. I need to change it to they. While 2 girls were swimming, they saw a dolphin. All right. So XYZ, got to go. I'm still listening to your lesson as a podcast. Great lesson again. Just want to say thank you for your lesson. I wish I could keep attending your live lesson today. Thanks. No problem, XYZ. Thank you for joining as long as you could. And thanks for continuing to watch as a podcast. Yeah, I think these live lessons, I've got a lot of other lessons that little videos I make, which are about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Those are really great videos to watch to learn one specific point. These live lessons are more in-depth. They're more in-depth. I go into more details. There's more practice. There's more explanation. Watching it, listening to it as a podcast is a great idea. I do that when I'm riding the train. If I've got a long train ride ahead of me, a long commute, then I will listen to a podcast or I'll watch a podcast and study for that hour. XYZ, have a great day. Have a great day. So let's look. While 2 girls were swimming, they saw a dolphin. Now, of course, we can change the order. We can change the order of that. The order could be, we could use when as well. 2 girls were swimming when they saw a dolphin. All right. 2 girls saw a dolphin while they were swimming. There's so many possible ways to answer that. All right. So let's look at number 3. I'm going to leave number 2 on the screen and let's look at number 3. We've got doorbell ring. It's the short action. And then Sarah sleep. That is the long action. Doorbell ring, short action. Sarah sleep, long action. And then don't forget, make sure you're always using the keywords. The keywords really help to join these 2 verb tenses. And remember, if you wanted to use a different keyword, I said at the beginning that there's another keyword, as. Now, basically, if you want to use as, it's going to be the same as while. We use it in the same way. So as well can be used with the past continuous. So if you look at number 2, just on the screen, it says, while 2 girls were swimming. I could say, as 2 girls were swimming, they saw a dolphin. That is also completely fine. So if you want to use as your keyword, that is also okay. So for me, number 3, doorbell rings, Sarah sleep. my answer here, before I put that, YFS, when two girls were swimming, they saw a dolphin. Yeah, perfect. So again, we're not using, we can use when in past continuous. That's fine. When is kind of like this perfect word. It's a key word for both situations. And that's YFS completely correct sentence. But if you are confused, then my suggestion to separate it, we can just use this: while and the past continuous, when with the past tense. This helps you kind of separate things if you want. Okay, so my answer for number 3, doorbell ring, Sarah sleep. So I'm going to start with the long action. Sarah was sleeping. And then keyword when the doorbell rang. Sarah was sleeping when the doorbell rang. Okay, that's just my order for this one. We've got another answer here from YFS. Right here. While Sarah was sleeping, the doorbell rang. While Sarah was sleeping, the doorbell rang. YFS, when with the past tense, got it. No, when with past continuous is fine. So your sentence was fine. But sometimes it's just easier to remember if we separate them. But no, your sentence was completely fine. So do not worry about that. Okay, so let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. We're going to move to the next page here. Unfortunately, I don't think you'll be able to see number 3 anymore. All right, so we've got man and drive. That's the long action. We've got same man. We've got see, and then we've got an accident. All right, so same man, see, and an accident. That's your short action. Good evening, Jiro. How are you? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I'm very late today. I was sleeping. That's okay. That's okay. You must be tired if you're sleeping. You must be tired if you're sleeping. That is completely fine. I was tired this morning as well. So I think after I finish working today, I'll be sleeping as well. Good to see you, by the way, Joe. Hope you're doing well. All right. So if we look at number 4, Joe, just if for your, just so you know what we're doing here, basically we're joining past tense and past continuous. So past continuous we know is was, were, and ing, and past tense is regular or irregular verbs. We're using keywords while and past continuous, and we're using when plus the past tense. So we're going to join these words together. And YFS has an answer for number 4. While a man is driving, he saw an accident. Okay. Be careful of your verb tense today, YFS. Not is driving. I know that's probably just a typo. So we need to do was here. So long action is going to be using past continuous. So while a man was driving, he saw an accident. Right, short action. Now, of course, there are many ways to make this sentence. A man was driving when he saw an accident. Same meaning. It's just a different way to say it. Same meaning, just a different way to say it. Supergirl man is driving when he saw an accident. My Wi-Fi is on and off today. Yeah, you know what? My Wi-Fi is really bad today. I've only got one bar. I've been having some internet issues as well. Yeah, so you made the same mistake as YFS. You made the same mistake as YFS. Yes, should be was driving. Then saw an accident. Very good. Okay, let's get rid of this banner. Let's look at number 5. I'll leave number 4 on the screen. I think you can still see number 5. I'll move it up a little bit, so hopefully you can see everything. Number 5, 10,000 yen. 10,000 yen. 10,000 yen. It used to be like $100 US. It's probably like $70 US now. But just for today's lesson, let's just say, you know, if you're studying in Japan, it's 10,000 yen. If you're studying anywhere that you're using American money, Canadian money, we can say it's $100, 100 euro, 100 pounds. Okay, so let's just make it like that. C, train floor, that's short action. Boy, ride on a train, it's the long action. Okay, so remember, long action is using past continuous. Short action is using past tense. So for anybody who is coming late, long action is going to be using the past continuous. I'm going to make a banner for that. All right, so the long action is using the past continuous, and short action is going to use the past tense. All right, that's how we separate these. So we've already got a couple of answers here. All right, so you've sort of separated it here. He saw 10,000 yen on the train floor while he was riding on a train. Perfect. 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 All right, so I'm going to make a sentence as well. I'll put my sentence. I'm going to move it up here. While a boy was riding on a train, he saw 10,000 yen on the floor. Now, if you notice, I didn't put train floor here because I already said train once. So I don't need to say it again. So everybody watching right now, if this happened to you, if you were riding on a train or on a bus and you saw $100, 100 euro, 100 pounds, 10,000 yen, whatever currency you're dealing with, what would you do if you saw that on the floor? What would you do? Would you pick it up, put it in your pocket? Would you pick it up and ask anyone if they dropped some money? Would you pick it up, give it to the train conductor or bus driver? Would you give it to the police? What would you do? All right, we're going to do a couple more, and then we will call it a lesson for today. Number 6, it's starting to become a little bit more difficult because number 6, as you can see, I didn't give you any verb. I didn't give you any verbs. All right, so I've just given you a long action, a short action. We know the subject is she. Short action says friend. Long action says dog. So join those two and let's make a sentence. Okay, so Joe, you've got while she was walking when she saw dog. Okay, so I know you came a little late. So when we use while and when, those are the key words, right? So I've already said that keywords are when and while. But we will only choose one. You can't use both. So if you want to use while, then use it with the past continuous. If you want to use when, we'll use it with the past tense. Now, with long action, so that means the dog, then I would use that, while and past continuous. That's the long action. And then if you're going to use the short action, that would mean past. So we would use when. So you have to choose either or, Juro. So YFS, while she was walking her dog, she saw her friend. Perfect. Perfect. So while she was walking her dog, she saw her friend. Now, there's many ways to say the dog and walking. So let's put a different example. YFS is on the screen. I'll give you a different example. So my example here would be while she was taking her dog for a walk, she saw, and now I'm going to put a friend. That's also fine. While she was taking her dog for a walk, she saw a friend. Now, of course, if you wanted to use when, that's also fine. We could say she was, and let's go back to YFS's example. She was walking her dog when she saw a friend. All right, so she was walking her dog when she saw a friend. There we go. Try to fit it all in there. All right, so Joe, does that make sense? All right, so we've got 3 different example sentences here, YFS, and then 2 from me on the screen. All right, so let's try another one. I'm going to get rid of this banner here. Number 7 says, keep 6 on the screen so you can see as an example. We've got boy basketball, long action. He leg, short action. All right, so Joe, you got a different sentence here. Oh, I like it. Okay, so while she was getting her dog at the hospital, she saw her coworker. Perfect sentence. I love it. So completely different than taking a dog from a walk. So while she was getting her dog, I know getting is just a typo. While she was getting her dog at the hospital, just add the, she saw her coworker. Excellent sentence. Number 7, YFS, your answer, while the boy was playing basketball, he broke his leg. Great sentence also. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. While the boy was playing basketball, he broke his leg. Yeah, that is unfortunate. That would not be good. But the sentence is perfect. You're very welcome, Joe. Good job. Amazing. Now, a lot of, like, if you're wondering, okay, so I understand this grammar now. I know how to use past continuous and past, but today's lesson says storytelling. Well, this is a sort of grammar function that we always use in storytelling. You know, maybe if I go to work on Monday, a coworker, a friend, they might ask me, "Oh, how was your weekend?" And if I want to tell them the story, I'm going to use this grammar. For instance, I might say, "Oh, it was great. You know, I went shopping, and you'll never believe it. While I was shopping in Beverly Hills, I saw Brad Pitt." Right? So that's how we use it. I'm telling my story of my weekend. Right? And then most likely my friend was like, "Really? What'd you do? What did you do? What was he doing?" "Oh, I didn't do anything. He was shopping with his kids." Right? So I'm using this grammar to tell a story. So number 7, we told a story about the boy. YFS, your answer was while the boy was playing basketball, he broke his leg. Perfect. Okay, let's go. I'm going to put the answer for number 7 on the screen. We'll do number 8 together. Number 9 will be homework. Okay, 8 together. Number 9 will be homework. So I'm going to change the order. The boy was playing basketball when he, and I'm using YFS's idea, when he broke his leg. There can be so many answers. Like if I'm going to think completely out of the box, like I'm going to think completely different. Maybe let's change this. Let's change this. The boy was thinking about basketball when he got his leg tattooed. All right. Again, I'm still using the same grammar, when plus past tense, while plus past continuous. Here it's just completely different topic. Maybe he got a basketball tattoo. Why he was thinking about basketball when he got his leg tattooed. All right, so there's many answers. So if you do have a different answer than anything you've seen on today's or during today's lesson, leave it in the comment section, especially for people watching on the replay. All right, if you're watching on the replay and you have a different answer, leave it in the comment section. The more you try these sentences, the better your English becomes. Number 8, the lady bath, that's the long action. Then someone on the door, that's the short action. So we've got here YFS, while the lady was taking a bath, someone knocked on the door. Perfect. While the lady was taking a bath, someone knocked on the door. Perfect. All right, excellent. Good job, YFS. And then again, we can change the order. The lady was taking a bath when someone knocked on the door. Someone knocked on the door while the lady was taking a bath. All right, there's many possibilities. Remember, while, when can go at the beginning or in the middle. You choose where you want to put it. But just follow these same kind of guidelines. While plus the past continuous, when plus the past tense. We can put it at the beginning or in the middle. All right, so let's put that answer on here so people can see it. Let's see. The lady was taking a bath when someone knocked on the door. All right. Let's see here. Giraud. The lady was bathing when someone knocked on the door. Perfect. I like that. So bathing is also a verb, right? Now, pronunciation is completely different. So bath, if you say that word, it's a noun. So we take a bath, right? But if we're going to say bathe is a verb. So it's a long A sound. So she was bathing when someone knocked on the door. Perfect. I like it. I like the use of bathe as a verb, Giraud. Well done. And bathing can mean, of course, in the bath, but we also use this verb if we're at the beach. We can say we're sunbathing, right? It's the same as sun tanning, but so we're bathing in the sun, so we're sunbathing. All right, great answer, Giraud. Okay, so that leaves us with the homework. The homework is going to be a little bit more unique. You're going to tell me a long action and a short action. So this is going to be your original sentence. Your original sentence. I want you to tell me any story, any experience that you have had. Maybe it's seeing a celebrity. Maybe it's some exciting moment in your life. Maybe it's an embarrassing moment in your life. Maybe it's a fun moment, all right? It can be any moment that you want. So I'm going to put the word etc. So just an original sentence talking about some moment in your life. Seeing a celebrity, exciting moment, embarrassing moment, scary moment. I have one very scary moment. I was hiking through a dark, abandoned, a dark tunnel. I was hiking through a dark tunnel. I said the word abandoned here. Does anybody know what abandoned mean? And I'll put that on here. I'm just checking my own spelling. There we go. I was hiking through a dark, abandoned tunnel when a bunch of bats flew at me. Abandoned, this means nobody is there. They don't use it anymore. So abandoned means nobody uses it anymore. Yeah, perfect. Yes, Supergirl. Nobody uses it anymore. So I was hiking through a dark, abandoned tunnel. All right, so I want you to imagine I was hiking and walking through a tunnel, and suddenly a bunch of bats flew at me. This is a true story. It was a pretty scary moment. So I want you to make a sentence like that. Tell me a moment in your life. It can be any moment you choose. All right. So make sure you do that for homework. If you have any questions regarding this lesson, leave it in the comment section. I wish I could stay and take any questions you have, but I do need to go to my school to teach some lessons. All right. So if you do have questions about today's grammar, about storytelling, ask me in the comment section. Anybody who's watching this on the replay, or if you're watching it live, if you're not a subscriber, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my channel and to this video. All right, guys. Oh, YFS has already given her homework. While I was skateboarding with my brother, I broke 3 different parts of bones. I would say I broke 3 different bones. I broke 3 different bones in my body. Ouch. Ouch. Is this a true story? Is this a true story? If it's a true story, it sounds very painful. It is a true story. Oh, no. Ouch. I hope you're okay now. Juro, thank you. Teacher, the verb bathing is well written. Yeah, bathing, that's how you write it. The verb bathe, and I'll put that on the screen here. The verb bathe has that E in it. So if anybody was wondering about bathe, right, the verb here that's a verb. It actually has an E at the ending. That's why the A is long. So the verb is bathe. And so, yeah, you're right. The continuous is going to be that bathing. We don't say bathing, bathing. So, yeah, the spelling is perfect, Juro. I was very embarrassed. Okay, so that wasn't a terrible moment. That was an embarrassing moment for you. Well, hopefully you are all healed up. And hopefully you are still skateboarding, right? Get back up on the horse. Try again. All right, guys. I need to jump to my lessons at my school now. I need to head out of the house. So it was great to see everybody today. If you have any questions, comments, leave them in the comment section. I will be doing more lives next week. I'll be doing more lives next week. So make sure you check out. I'm going to start posting a schedule of my lives at the beginning of the week. That way you know what days I'm doing it. So this week I did it Thursday, Friday, and then now today's Saturday. So 3 days in a row. So check out my community site for that information. Also, if anybody is studying for the Versant test, or if anybody wants to improve their listening, I just posted a new Versant practice video. It's a great video that will help you get a higher score on this test. So check that out if you need to get a higher score. All right. Until the next time, everybody, thanks for joining, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson. See ya.